Again, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Senator, good to have you with us tonight. Senator, what do you say to these Republicans who claim raising the minimum wage would be a job killer?
I say they're just factually wrong. In my state of Vermont, our minimum wage is $8.60 compared to the national minimum wage of $7.25. And we have one of the lowest unemployment rates in America. You have states where there is virtually no minimum wage at all, and their unemployment rate is much higher. The facts just don't bear it out. The reality is that if we raise the minimum wage to at least $10.10 an hour, about 30 million Americans would get a pay raise, and 88% of them are adults. These are not kids. These are working families struggling to keep their heads above water. They need a pay raise. We've got to pass it.
McDonald's afford to pay its employees $15 an hour. It's interesting, Senator, since this demonstration took place in 130 cities across America last Thursday, none of the fast food folks have come out and said, we can't afford this. Wendy's would go under if we paid this. McDonald's would struggle. It would kill jobs. There is silence on their part. Your thoughts?
Ed, here is the real outrage. Not only can they afford to pay a decent minimum wage, but here is the point. Right now, the taxpayers of this country are subsidizing the McDonald's people, Burger King, and Walmart. In Walmart in particular, you have the wealthiest family in the world. They're worth $100 billion. But the wages and the benefits that they provide to their workers are so low that many of these workers go on Medicaid, they go on food stamps, they have to get government help for their housing, so the taxpayers of America end up subsidizing Walmart's, McDonald's, and Burger King. If we raise the minimum wage, the workers actually would have enough living, enough income to get off some of these programs.
Senators, are going to take a democratically controlled House to get the minimum wage. I know the Democrats are going to try to do minimum wage this year, or should I say in 2014. Of course, they probably won't get a vote because of Boehner and whatnot. But it's like they've got a new big three that they're going after. What will it take to move the dime here?
Well, what it will take is the American people standing up very loudly and in a well-organized way to say, we are sorry and sick and tired about a House of Representatives that wants to give more tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires at the same time as the middle class disappears and we have more people living in poverty than any time in American history. So you ask me, Ed, can we pass a minimum wage? If millions of Americans, and by the way, the polls are overwhelming in favor of raising the minimum wage, if we make our Republican colleagues an offer they can't refuse, and that is they ain't going to stay in Congress unless they raise the minimum wage, unless they give us a jobs program. You know, we have youth unemployment today at around 20%, an entire generation not getting out into careers, earning a living. We have got to create millions of jobs, and we have got to pass legislation to protect the long-term unemployed.
Senator, what I'm hearing, the budget deal could not be good, that the Republicans are holding the line. You're on the Budget Conference Committee. Will you allow unemployment benefits to expire? I mean, how heated is this going to be? Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think you got, as you have indicated, 1.3 million Americans who are really struggling. If they lose those benefits, they're going to be in despair. They're going to be unable to take care of their families. And by the way, the point you made a moment ago, very important. By getting that money out into the economy, it is a stimulant. It creates other types of jobs. So we have got to do everything we can to protect those 1.3 long-term unemployed folks.
And Senator, what is the Republican reaction when you bring up to them that the last government shutdown cost this country $25 billion, and with the backdrop of unemployment checks being withheld as the conversation?
Ed, they are living in a very different world. And their world really is to take us back to an oligarchic form of society where working people have no protection of you. And as you've indicated, many of these guys want to abolish the concept of the minimum wage, have Americans working for $3 or $4 an hour.
So are we headed for shutdown?
I think not. I suspect that there probably will be some kind of minimal agreement. I think the Republicans have learned their lesson that the shutdown did not work for them politically.
So a small deal kicks the can down the road, and then we'll have to do the And the Republicans are hoping that they can gerrymander enough to hold the districts, to hold the House, and be right back and get nothing done in 2015 and 16 and hopefully win the White House. I mean, this is a major stall game. This is where it's at.
No, that's exactly right. And meanwhile, we have no jobs program. We're not dealing with our disastrous trade policies. We're not dealing with income and wealth inequality.
Senator Bernie Sanders, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.